Hopefully NVIDIA doesn't give us that instant dip and rip. You guys know I don't trade that first 2 minute candle, but if we can get a pullback off of 184.50, I do like it. AMD's a good play too. Yeah. So main focus here is just going to be AMD and NVIDIA. Yeah, that's it for me here. Qs is above the previous day high, so looks good. Okay. So pretty big pullback here on the overall market and relative strength clearly on NVIDIA. We did gap up a little bit, so technically we got a little bit of a gap to fill here on the Qs. So that's something I'll watch for. Like I said, if AMD, I said this yesterday in the pre-market game plan, if AMD, wants to chop around a little bit, can't be too surprised, just because they had a nice trendy day yesterday. So right now, yeah, we did gap up a little. So we'll see what happens here, on Qs. SPY's holding a 689.70 weekly level. Sheesh, big open here on NVIDIA. Okay, being respected here. There is some divergence between SPY and Qs. SPY is pushing Qs. It's not. So on that daily time frame, because remember we started this week off with a gap down actually. Um, Q's already filled its gap. SPY does still have a gap to fill a little bit here on the daily. Yeah, NVIDIA contracts look good too. At the money, the delta is like mid 50s. It's the most volume too. They're about $2. So they do look good. So we'll see what sets up here. Like I said, we do have red folder news at 7 a.m. So keep that in mind. And then remember, I know you just got here as well, Victor. It's a Thursday, right? So got to be defensive. These contracts are a little bit more volatile towards the end of the week. So remember to scale accordingly, right? Monday through Wednesday, right? Our foot's on the gas, pretty aggressive, right? Because we're not worried about theta and the contracts aren't as volatile. But Thursday and Fridays, that's when you want to scale down a little bit and make sure you're being conservative. Yeah. And then I'm always going to play at the money cons on a Thursday and Friday. Okay, so Cheese is it's doing pretty well. It's trying to defend this 261. It's 261. It's trying to defend this pretty well. If you can see, we're still stuck in this range here on Qs in between 617 and 620. And then I'll show you here on the weekly. You can see we're pretty much just stuck in this channel still on the weekly time frame. So something to keep in mind. But this looks good on Qs for now. And then there's definitely relative strength here on SPY compared to the Qs. Nothing for me on Tesla since sitting nowhere near key level. Pretty big inside bar day here for Tesla. Pretty big wicks, big candles here on the video. So I'm definitely gonna hold my water here. Kind of want to wait to see if we can get a deep enough pullback. Q's is doing pretty well trying to defend the 621. It's definitely trying to defend this. I'll be looking at the money comms here on the video, guys. So as of right now, that's 182.50 calls. I know the strike prices change as this price pulls back. 182.50 calls at the money on the video. I got to read this with the overall market though. Okay, now the single buyer stepped up there. Single buyer. All right, just gotta wait and see. So now I'm not really spotting too much divergence with a lot of these names. What Q's is doing, right, is what these names are doing. Keep in mind, we did gap up. Yeah, just gotta be patient here. It's pretty volatile. Like I said, yesterday was a very nice, trendy day on a lot of these names. So, yeah. So, hold on. This thing's still trying to give me a sec. Okay, and then this single bar stepped up here on NVIDIA. If we get this candle closed, then I'm waiting to see first. Could be a wick. Could be a wick. I mean, you can look at all three of these names. These candles are pretty big and volatile. Like I said, we did have a gap to fill here on Tesla. I'm sorry, on Q's. We did gap up a little bit. So trying to see if it can hold. See this wick. So this is still retesting, but these are very volatile candles on NVIDIA. Look at every candle so far, just crazy volatile. Trying to read this retest because if we can get like a candle close under here, then I would play the break and retest again. But so far, the body of the candles have been closing above 184.50. So I'm just trying to read this with the overall market. Just gotta be patient here. I don't like the confluence right now. Don't let FOMO kick in here. I just don't like that these candles are very volatile and wicky. So I'm just being patient. Like if this sets up again, so be it. Any FOMO there. I'm watching AMD too. If this can give us a setup. That's too tight of a stop. It's really no FOMO for me, guys. I know that was the retest. But with these candles, I'm just being very patient. Big wicks, big candles, we stay away from. Market just opened. It's only been open for 10 minutes. And then I'm trying to spot relative strength compared to the market. So right now, NVIDIA is in sync with Qs. It's definitely in sync with Qs. Qs pulled back, held this, filled the gap. Now we're bouncing. And then SPY is way stronger than the Qs. Way stronger. So you can see our tech names, uh, Tesla and AMD's pulling back. Technically, these two names have inside bar dates. Nvidia is the only one, I think, right now sitting above the previous day high. Let's see. No, not yet. See, kind of a big wick here. It's definitely trying to defend 184.50. So I'm just trying to gauge this. I want these candles to cool down a little bit. Yeah, Ivy's good. Yeah, these look good. We just got to be patient. QQQ is a chop right now. Still the 182.50 calls. It's kind of my main focus right now. It's just NVIDIA. Just trying to read this and see if I can spot some relative strength here compared to the market. But as of right now, it's just kind of in sync with the cues. So I'm not really fond of that. And then, like I said, we do have red folder news at 7 a.m. So if this thing is in sync with the overall market, not really. Yeah, cues just pulled back pretty heavy. And SPY. This is what cues just did. So remember, context matters here. Definitely matters. It's doing a great job defending this. It's just crappy price action. I still have my cons ready, guys. The 182.50 calls. I'm just reading cues right now. I'm just trying to gauge this market. Just trying to gauge this market. It's very volatile here. Remember, even if we get a break and retest on a technical standpoint, if the price action's trash and you skip that, that's a part of risk management, right? So we are, defending this, but I just don't like the conditions right now with the cues. Like this isn't really doesn't have too much relative strength. When cues bounce, NVIDIA bounce. When cues pulls back, so does NVIDIA. So that's something I'm being mindful of. Let's see, our highest displacement candle is 185.26. It's pretty solid. Yeah, cues is just pulling back very heavy. Look at that. Yeah, cues and SPY is pulling back very heavy. I would love for this candle to close. I want to see this candle close and then see what we do. It's doing a great job trying to defend this. Doing a great job. Yeah, we did really good holding our water here. Right. So great lesson here is like even though we were getting the retest, we didn't let FOMO kick in. We saw buyers really trying to defend this thing, but the market's just pulling back way too heavy. So it was that. I don't really like the price action. It's not the best. We'll see how this candle close. Oh yeah, so we got a candle close under it. So if this sets up again, and like let's say we get maybe a reversal on the market, then we would be looking to play the reclaim, right? No longer the break and retest because buyers did defend this. So if we can reclaim this, right? I like that because shorts get squeezed out of their position for a loss. What does that do? That fuels that move higher. So 184.50 still in play here. It's definitely still in play. Just trying to read this. Spine Q's pulling back pretty heavy here. Crappy day on Tesla. Inside bar day on Tesla and AMD. Like I said, not surprised. Pretty much on every tech name, we had a nice trendy day yesterday, especially going into power hour. So that's typically followed up by consolidation day. Did really good holding our water here. Really good. This is Q's right now. It's crazy. That's Q's. That's SPY. Right. So on a technical standpoint, I mean, look at the price range we had yesterday. Crazy. Look at the price range we had. So we'll see what happens here at 7 a.m. with red folder news. On a technical standpoint, it's an inside bar day, so price hasn't really moved higher or lower. Just keep that in mind. And NVIDIA is trying to, it did really, like, if we had the overall market in our favor, NVIDIA easily could have held. Because SPY and Qs is pulling back pretty heavy, and NVIDIA did a good job trying to hold this. So the way I was looking at this is like, right, you got this setting up here, right? If we can hold this, that looks solid. As you can see, that's what we're trying to do now. As of right now, the at the money calls are still 182.50. I'm watching this, guys. I want to see, we got like basically a minute for this candle to close. I would love to see this candle close and then a momentum candle. My finger's on the trigger with AMD. I'm sorry, with NVIDIA. I'm watching this. All right, I'm long NVIDIA. I'm long NVIDIA. Nice. It's a Thursday. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. You can scale accordingly, guys, how you want. Play the reclaim there, right? It's what we're always teaching. Not going to be greedy here because we do have news at 7. Nice. Nice. Just waiting for a little bit more of a push. I'm already up 10% on these. All right, I'm out there. I got out there, guys. Cons are still pushing. I just didn't like that. We got red folder news coming out at 7. This thing's still going though. Nice. Did you guys catch that? Nice. If you guys are still in this thing looks great. So I just know how NVIDIA moves. We're up 10%, and I didn't like that we had red folder news at 7. Good catch, Noah. Yeah, NVIDIA's holding up pretty well. Pretty well. Like that was something I would really look for if it wasn't for red folders at 7. Yeah, still holding up. If you guys, yeah, it looks good. That looks really good. Nice. What a trade. Yeah, that looks good. I wish the context was a little bit better. I would have loved to hold that. Were you able to catch that, Jason? Yeah, nice intraday rejection there. Let's see. Nice. Good stuff, Jason. So context matters. It sucks that the conditions that it is. So I would love to hold this and then see this turn into that. But as you guys know, my non-negotiable is I'm never in a trade when red folder news comes out. And right now, the thing is, this thing's in sync with Q's. It's in sync with Q's. So when I went long on this, I wasn't even looking at NVIDIA. I was looking at Q's. And you can see that was that big rally we just got here on Q's. And now you see us pulling back here on Q's. Same thing here on the video, right? Look at that. So great sell. As I always say, wish to the damage body tells the story. So this was like our intraday resistance level, which was on the dot. Ended up pushing into that, and you can see we rejected this very heavy. So great sell. And then the reason those contracts moved like they did is, like I always say, remember options pay us more on momentum. So when this set up, I knew, okay, cool, that's the squeeze. If we can reclaim this, what does that do? Fuels that move to the upside. We see this every single day, and that's exactly what happened here. Yeah, that was a great trade. I understood the conditions, right? I knew that that move we were seeing was also a push with Qs. So when I had the overall market in my favor, I was like, okay, perfect. And we were just risking right under here. So super solid. I still want to see what happens at the red folder because AMD looks really good. Like if we can get this V-shaped recovery, that looks really good. I've been trying to catch this name for a while now. Yeah, not the best price action here on NVIDIA. And that was solid, right? We knew where the intraday resistance level was. I don't care. I don't care about these wicks. This means nothing to me, right? But where are we noticing where all the candles are closing? Right at 185.25. And you can see we pushed up into that and look at us now. So we definitely got stopped out. So that was a great buy, great sell, just being able to be quick on our toes and understand what we were looking at. So now, right, something like this stands out to me that let me go here. I hope you were able to catch that, Victor. I know that was pretty quick, but we definitely had time on that sell because NVIDIA held up pretty well. So I like yeah, that was a good trade. I like the relative strength here on AMD because you're kind of getting well, you are getting, excuse me, a V-shaped recovery. So if we can get above this and then above that, that looks really good. And above 252.90 is also above the previous day high. So we got about 2 minutes here. Let's see. 1 sec. Um, there's a, let's see. Oh, you can't see that it's white, but we got a countdown right here. Oh man, I forgot about that. So remember when we had like the government shutdown and pretty much every day we were coming into the market and the news just kept getting pushed back. So now we're starting to finally get those news. Totally forgot about that. Release date delayed by 34 days due to government shutdown. So there would be two simultaneous releases of source code data. Okay, cool. That's why it says October data. I was so confused on that. Okay, totally forgot about that. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, I'm looking at Qs. Qs is pushing and SPY is pushing a little bit lower. Yeah, very heavy. Breaking through that lower day. Okay, buyer stepping up here. Okay. So the forecast was 0.2, actual was 0.2. So not too much. Okay, nice. Yeah, there's definitely relative strength here on AMD. Look at Qs. All right, we're doing that. Like I said, it still is an inside bar day here on Qs, but then look at AMD. So buyers are definitely in control here. This is what I was looking for on AMD, on NVIDIA. This is what I was looking for. And it tried that, but the price action was just too crappy. So I was like, yeah, I'm not touching that. I would love for us to get over that. If we reject that, I wouldn't be too surprised, but let's see if we can get over 252.90. It's also the previous day high. We did good trying to defend this during the pre-market. Yeah, it's acting as a good resistance. Yeah, this was a dot. This trade was a dot on the video. You guys know me, I'm not really a scalper. I don't really like to scalp, but like understanding market conditions and context, like I said, like I'm always right gonna manage my trades based on what the overall market is doing. So in this case, like we were in sync with the market. So if Qs were pushing, I'm holding. As soon as Qs start to stall and reject, and it was a correlation with an intraday resistance level, I knew, okay, yeah, let me get out here. So it's just a little tougher here on the video on the intraday, because keep in mind, this is a weekly level. It's a weekly level. So these candles that we see, like this is a good base on the weekly time frame, right? But on the intraday, right, gotta respect our stop loss. But this is what you want to see, right, when you're trying to take a long entry off a weekly. Like it's doing a really good job holding compared to obviously the market's just pulling back very heavy. Uh, You can see our 252.90. Yeah, that's nice. Then a little tip here, like I said, going into, yeah, honestly, NVIDIA sucks right now on the intraday, but like I said, we had a nice trendy day yesterday on NVIDIA. The big shot was really at the bottom of the range. We just didn't get a deep enough pullback. But honestly, NVIDIA is holding up fairly well. Like this is what you would want to see around the weekly level. Nothing I would want to take on another trade, but it's definitely holding up. But a lot of these names, like a little tip is, let's say, we open above, or no, we open under our previous day high. I don't necessarily like when we already sweep the previous day highest liquidity during the pre-market because now it's mitigated, right? Those orders got filled, the liquidity got swept. It's no longer fresh. But when you get that big breakout, right, that's because we have that unmitigated liquidity. So I typically like to take a break and retest, um, especially when it's a correlation with a higher time frame level and a previous day high. I like to take that shot 10 times more when we didn't sweep it during the pre-market. But, right, statistically speaking, if we take out the previous day high and we fall back under, typically, sellers are going to push the price lower. You know what I mean? And that's clearly what you're seeing. So that's why I always spot out like inside bar days. And my habit coming into market open is, okay, is it an inside bar day? If we're bullish bias, did we take out the previous day high yet? Oh, we didn't? Okay, cool. I like this. So that's something to keep in mind on a lot of these names. Like for an example, NVIDIA, right? We swept, even though it's holding, we swept this previous day high during pre-market. So I would have liked this a lot more if we didn't take this out. Kind of did that. I can expect us to have a little bit of bigger of a pop since it's unmitigated. You know what I mean? QQQ, right? We fell back under the previous day high. Sellers typically push it lower. So that's something to always keep an eye out on. Like I said, I don't trade off the previous day highs and lows, but I use them as context references. right? Just understand on liquidity, what price may do, where it should gravitate towards. So what you're seeing here on AMD is like, it'll be a grind for it to get back above 252 because we've already taken out the previous day high. We already broke above that level during the pre-market, and now sellers pushed it back under. Let's see. Actually, I'm curious on what Apple did. Yeah, nothing on Apple. I had a nice play on Apple yesterday, but like I said, right, a lot of these names moved very big yesterday. Like this was Apple 2 days ago. Apple had a pretty nice move yesterday. And then you can see stuck in between previous day high, previous day low, and it's kind of just doing this, right? So it's just a low probability environment. I think, yeah, I really wanted AMD. I know I'm big on one and done, but if AMD did set up, I was very open to taking this trade again over 250, 290. Mark my words, guys, I will catch this trade on AMD. AMD's just been the one that's been getting away. Every single day, this thing just opens up very strong. If we consolidate today, I'm not too surprised just because we had really a nice price action day yesterday on AMD, right? Teaching you guys market structure. So after a nice Trinity day, typically followed up by consolidation. I mean, look at this, right? And now this is kind of what we're getting, right? This was yesterday's open versus today's. So I'm not too surprised. So tomorrow, hopefully we can expect some better PA and get maybe one of these, one of these. We won't know until we know. Let's see, NVIDIA, I'm sorry, AMD. We opened up at 235.87. Yeah, this thing had a nice day. Yeah, that's a big move for AMD. It's a big move. And so far, this has pretty much been the story of Tesla this entire week. It's just been the story here. Let's see. Yeah, I think that might be it, folks. I'll sit here till 7:30 because I do want to see if AMD can give me a setup over 250, 290. It's definitely trying to hold. If it doesn't, I'm not going to force it. We've already had a really good trade. It's been quick the last couple of days, but on a technical standpoint, market hasn't even been open an hour yet. So sometimes you just kind of just got to let price develop and play out. Let's see. Seeing something to like kind of keep in mind here on Tesla, like, right? We got to know the pros and cons to our system. And this is what Tesla's doing. This is what Tesla's doing. So, right, we had this, we trended higher, consolidation. We did make a new all-time high, been pulling back since then. We still are bullish bias on this name. Today is Thursday, so this weekly candle looks good on Tesla. It definitely looks good. But, right, this is why this is such a strong key level that I'm looking for. Look at the RR. If we can get over this weekly 440.40, there's nothing in its way to the upside. Right, you want to get in here before we get in here. Um, And then really market structure. Right? This thing is stair stepping higher. Not the best price action. Kind of got a little bull flag setting up here on the weekly time frame. So this looks good on Tesla, right? We just got to understand the conditions. Right? You can see as soon as we can get over this, if or when we do, right? Clear skies. Clear skies. Nothing in its way. So when in doubt, zoom out. Remember that. When in doubt, zoom out. Got to get the bigger picture. So when we see this price action like today on Tesla, not too surprised, right? And NVIDIA did really, really well holding this 184.50. We are getting a low day bounce here on the SPY and Qs. You can see like some built up liquidity like that. Get this kind of into that, and you would want to see it do that. Yeah, I believe NVIDIA really could have had a really good day if the overall market wasn't pulling back today. Because it's done really well holding this 184.50. Really, really well. Got to give credit when it's due. And what I'm looking for here on NVIDIA, right, as I always say, right, the A plus shots don't look like an A plus shot in the moment, unless you know what you're looking for. So, one sec. Right, yesterday was the day I know I said this in the pre-market. I was really looking for this. Remember, we ended up breaking this 178.05, got the breakout, pushed us all the way up to 192.95. All this was the retest, right? That was the retest. And yesterday, right, we got that retest on the pre-market, nothing we can do about it. Bottom of the range before we get to the top of the range. So that was super solid. That was like the main play I was looking for on a video. So as you can see on the daily, we're flirting, we're trying to hold, but the same thing, right? We're trying to hold 184.50 before we get back to the top of the range here on a video, right? See this setting up, we can reclaim this. These are dip buys, right? Trend is your friend, the dip is your best friend. So even though, right, we've been having a decent month, base hits, as soon as these names can break out of channels, we're back in action. I promise you that. I know I showed you this. Like this is NVIDIA right now on the weekly. So on a technical standpoint, it is in a channel, right? It is stuck in a channel. So as soon as give me one sec, 192.95, look how clean that looks. Clear skies, nothing in its way. So NVIDIA did good, right? We had all this trend, right? Very nice trend. Now consolidation. We did make all-time highs. We fell back into this channel on the weekly. We're really waiting for the break over 192.95, but we are bullish bias and we're holding market structure. So we're just looking for our dip buys. And you can see this week held 178.05 perfectly, right? That was the retest yesterday. $13. It's better. 13. Yeah. I'm gonna call that at 7:30, guys. But I'm just trying to wait and see what sets up on AMD. If it doesn't set up then, it's just not ready. I just don't want to walk away too early. I at least want to sit here for an hour. Tesla has some ways to go. Yeah. So this is actually good on Qs. Like if I were looking for a trade here, I know you guys remember this. Like this is the bottom of the range on Qs. The 617. This has been like the key level here. So we ended up getting that break yesterday. Today we're retesting that. This has been such a strong key level. And we've just really been stuck in between 617 and 629. I'll get rid of this, better visual. Right? So you want to get in the bottom of the range before we get to the top. So if this can hold, I'll be looking for a pullback long here if I were to take this. This has really been the story on Qs. It's been pretty annoying, but gotta get out of this, man. Gotta get out of that. How long have we been in here? Man, since early December. Since early December, we have just been stuck. December 5th, we've just been stuck in here. And every time, I mean, every single time we push into 629.05, sellers are just saying, nope, not today. So hopefully we can get that. Hopefully we can hold at the bottom of this range, push this thing higher. We'll see. See what the weekly looks like. I hope these things are starting to make sense. Like that's why on Tuesday, one of my biggest things I don't like is when the market gaps. When we start the week off with a gap in the market, it kind of just sets us back, depending on if we're bullish or biased. And we ended up gapping down. So you can see this is the weekly candle. So it's a good week thus far, right? We got one more day left. So it's been a solid week. But that gap down set us back. And then yesterday we ended up having, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? We ended up having a pullback day. So we gapped down. Yeah, we gapped down. And then this day we ended up just pulling back the whole day, which was on, yeah, Tuesday. So that's why it's like, man, whenever you start the week off with a gap, it's pretty annoying because you'll get some names that gives us a setup, but if the overall market's pulling back too heavy, right, it's causing those setups to fall through. So I hope these things make sense. When I always say like context matters, it definitely does. AMD is trying to flirt with this. It's definitely trying to flirt. We can just get above this. I would not mind giving that a shot. And then across the board, you can look and tell, right? Just not the best price action day across the board. Looked promising at open. AMD and Nvidia did. They did, but yeah. No, were you able to figure out like to do the market order and stuff now? Like, do you have that figured out? Because if not, I know you're on TOS too. Like, I can send you a video on like how to set it up in your settings. But I think you've been good. I don't know. Haven't figured it out. Okay, cool. I'll send you a video today on how to do it, like how to keep it in your settings. Yeah, I got you. No worries. Uh, yeah, I think that might. I don't think we're gonna get AMD. It's just what, like I'm trying to read this just because right now Q's is like trying to give us a bounce here as we pull in a 61720. So I want to see if that can give us a ripple effect and carry over to AMD. Maybe not. Trying to hold a little bit, but see a strong resistance level on the intraday is like right here around 251. It's all in one so far. Like a lot of these names have been definitely setting up. Like we've taken 3 trades in a row. Um, Obviously market was closed Monday. So we've been taking our shots for sure. We've definitely been taking our shots. What did we take on Tuesday? Oh, Tesla. Yeah, it was Tesla. Okay. Yeah, guys, I don't think AMD is going to give us a setup because now the momentum's just not there. And then Q's and SPY, as you can see here, right? It's holding market structure for sure. It's just, right, we're just starting to base. Momentum's down a little bit. What I was hoping for on Q's is, we can see strong buyers step up here, which is still panning out. And then we can get that here on AMD. Okay, well, let's see. We're getting a strong push here on the market. It's clean market. It's just clean market structure. Like pull back, pull back, pull back. Key level that's been defended very well. You just want to see buyers step up and defend this here. Okay, let's see if we can get this on. Tesla's trying to break through the high day. It's no trade on Tesla, but yeah, definitely trying to break through the high day here. Yeah, solid on Tesla. I wouldn't be surprised if we just got a squeeze here, maybe like later into the session or something on NVIDIA. You just hit this crazy pop. I would not be surprised. It's done a really good job defending 184.50. So yeah, like I said, coming into today's session, a pattern that I noticed, right? You kind of want to like try and spot these things, right, on the Mondays and Tuesdays, a bit early in the week, on what names are having, relative strength and weakness compared to the market. And so far this week, a lot of these names have had or pretty much been in sync with the overall market. And I said that regarding Tesla, which was pretty shocking. I haven't seen that in a while on Tesla just being in sync with Qs. As we know, Tesla can do his own thing. Yesterday there was divergence on Apple, right? Market was pushing, Apple was tanking. But even then, overall, just kind of in sync a lot of these names. So these bounces that you see right now, well, that's just right following behind Qs, following behind Qs. Let's see what's up here. Hmm, don't know. 251.60 has just been a strong resistance level here on the intraday. That's just trying to recover. Yeah, big push here on the market. I think this is just due to Hughes just kind of pulling back and the 617 and buyers just stepping up. Yeah, clean market structure, still like pretty much stair stepping higher, as you can see. So yeah, that's clean for sure. Okay, so you see this pullback? See these tanks like all simultaneously? That's cues. Look at that. You want to start picking up on these habits. Like, look at Tesla. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen Tesla just be this much in sync with cues. Yeah, so we're just starting to see that all around. Mm, Nvidia's done really well today. Just crappy price action. What did Apple do? Yeah, terrible on Apple. Terrible. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get AMD guys because right now, Q's is dang, look good. Still holding on the daily, right? The intraday is noise, but it's still holding on the daily. Got a nice little push. Now we're just already back near the low day. It's crazy. Yeah, that's not good. Done very well trying to defend this 617.75. So, but yeah, really good day, guys. Definitely gonna call it here. Glad we've all. It's been a good week. Been a good month. Soon, right? Hopefully these names can start to get out of some channels. We'll cross this bridge when we get there, but very soon we will start having some earnings in play. It is the first quarter. I think that might be next. Is that next week? Earnings on 128. Yeah, so yeah, that is next week. So a couple of these names, we will have some earnings in play. AMD, yeah, that's on the 3rd of February. NVIDIA, I think NVIDIA is sooner. No, it's not actually. We got some ways. Okay, cool. So yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But next week, right, we will start. See, I knew this was like gonna set up here because we were just starting to have a squeeze, and this thing was holding very well while the overall market was pulling back. So I said I wouldn't be surprised if we just kind of get this squeeze and rally to the upside. Not surprised. Like Nvidia did really well today. It just sucks that the overall market was just pulling back during the morning session. It's done really well defending this. Yeah, we caught that on the dot. It's crazy. Okay, cool. Other than that, yeah, good day today, guys, and I will see you all tomorrow.